welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this, my friends, is the Thunder Show, aka the internet's most passionate wine program. Mott, we have a guest. What did I say, 6 left this year? So 5. That means somebody that we've already confirmed to is going to get kicked out because this man willed himself into the Thunder saddle. Why don't you tell the Vayner Nation who you are and how you got here?
Great story. I am Jimmy Trent.
Active poster.
Active poster,
right?
for sure.
So a lot of the peeps in the comment section are going to be excited right now.
They should be. I hope so. I'm kind of like, I really like all the new comment way, like the way the comments are, because it allows so much more interaction. It's really fun. But
it discusses buggy in some ways, but the interaction is amazing. And I see
great.
you're a heavy interactor.
I love it. It's fun.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, so anyway, Jimmy Trent, at Jimmy Trent on Twitter, so love to catch up with as many of you as possible on that. Got here basically on a contest that you hosted last fall when you made the New York Times, and were excited about it, which was a great irony to me because you always kind of hate on that media. But
are you calling me out, Jimmy?
I'm not calling you out, but I thought it was a cool irony. Or call you out. However you want to do.
You know, it's funny. Let me just on if we're gonna go there, Jimmy. The only reason I call out old media, whether it's TV, print, radio, for the record, so there is no confusion. And listen, you follow my stuff, so there clearly is some confusion. So maybe we may need to do a GaryVaynerchuk.com video after this. I just don't like the way they price advertising on traditional media. I mean, I'm thrilled to be in the New York Times or be on Howard Stern's radio show or be on TV.
Sure.
I just do not believe that the price structure that is in place for traditional media is fair, because I think it's going under preconceived 1995 notions, not 2010 when people are distracted, ADD, phones, iPads. There's just a lot of different cultural things going on.
Understood.
So that is just
good clear up.
Yeah, just to clear that up.
But
I'm always, and I know you've heard me say this, I'm never romanced by the platform.
Sure.
It's always the message.
Right.
So I'm pumped if somebody does a blog post about me that 3 people read, because that's 3 more people, getting the message. And so obviously the full section, front page of the, food section, dining in section of the New York Times, that's more than 3 people.
A lot more.
Yeah. So
that's amazing.
Just cleared that up.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, so that was an awesome, I think, a big moment for you being in there. You were excited about it.
Yep.
Hosted the contest on who could come up with the most creative picture
with the actual
with the ad in hand in the picture, and so that was the contest I entered. Had a chance to kind of try to negotiate my way through that process and get as many people to see it as possible to get some action there. And I was one of the 2 selected. I think Tammy up in Canada as
made a dress out of it.
Which was super creative.
Yes.
Right?
I tried to get him to wear the dress and he wouldn't do it.
Oh, that would have been brilliant.
I figured that probably wouldn't work. Yeah. So, but anyway, so won that contest, and,
and here we are.
Here we are. I actually brought if I can, I brought a gift that's related to that.
Okay, very nice. I like getting gifts.
Here, I'll let you.
Thank you. Here it is. So this is very nice. Yeah, this is how you want it. I thought this was an amazing. Mott, zoom in on this. So you set up.
Well, I set up the article. Trying to capture that irony that was there.
The
old media is dying, and the new media, the old media's final words.
Right, as new media was coming.
Right, was you.
It was very creative.
So I thought it would be.
I love it.
I thought it would at least scratch your itch a little bit.
This is awesome. Thank you, my friend. No, you totally did. Caught my attention. Glad you're here. But you'd been watching and following for a long time prior to that.
A couple years.
What was your first episode, or what
I can't remember the first episode. It was January 2007-ish, or January-ish in 2007.
So super early on, because we started in February of 2006.
So I caught in the first year. And I was just starting to
Google?
drink. No, I was starting to drink some wine, and was really intimidated by wine. Thought it was a challenge to understand and all these things. And so I was into it. I had tasted a Brunello that my friend had given me, and it hooked me. I was like, wine is amazing. And so
it does happen.
And so at that point, I was really getting into it, and a friend of mine had stumbled on your stuff somehow. I don't know how he's like, hey, you should check this guy out. He seems like he knows what he's talking about. He's really fun, so check it out.
Yep.
And I watched an episode, and I think 3 episodes later, I was just like, okay, I'll stick around, and now I've learned a ton, and that's how I found this was through your vision.
Let's talk about this. So this is a wine that you're drinking from Wine Warehouse down in Gainesville, right? Little
Gators.
Right.
Go Gators.
So, great company in Florida. I think they have a great philosophy. We have a similar one with Wine Library. Good wines, good pricing. And this is the same wine, 2 different vintages. You've had them both, but never together at the same time.
Never at the same time.
So you brought these up.
Yeah, I thought
you did not have a guaranteed spot on Wine Library TV.
Mm.
You started a Twitter campaign, I noticed, to get people to get you on. You continued to hustle. And, I respect hustle so much, there was no way I was going to allow you to sit there the whole time today. So we put you on.
Thank you.
That's basically what happened.
I love it. I'm so thankful.
Now we're going to have people that want to be on just like come to Wine Library and just hang out outside and say, we're hustling.
See if they can get up.
So you brought these 2 wines because deep down, you've been following me long enough to know that I probably would have caved and put you on.
I think so.
Is that the truth? Just call a spade a spade.
I think I knew that if I hustled and showed up, that you're a nice enough guy.
That you were going to get on.
Yeah.
Did he say he was definitely going to get on?
No,
I didn't.
he didn't.
He didn't.
He did not.
No.
He was worried that he wouldn't get on. But deep down, he was hoping.
I think deep down, the gut feeling.
The gut feeling. All right, let's get into this. We're going to start with the 9. Well, you've had them both. I've never had any of the Torre Ora Gran Reserva Riojas. What do you think we should start with?
I mean, based on my tasting, I feel like they're pretty similar, and I was very, very surprised and excited whenever I found that out. But
can you get us 2 other glasses? You think we can pull that off?
Yep.
There's a bunch outside, Bud, if you don't have any clean. You saw them? I think what would really work, and if you're at home and you're trying the same way, and really, really have them, mano a mano style, not just after, I think could really, really help. Was this recommended to you?
It was. It was actually kind of funny.
A big display in the store?
Well, you know how they are. I think with the Wine Warehouse, these guys, find something and just get a boatload of it, and then
pound it until it's gone.
And pound it until it's gone. And so I showed up, and they were selling it for $7.98 a bottle. And my friend and I, we say we're budget sommeliers.
Sure, of course.
So it's like $7.98 a bottle. It came with this gold string on it, so we kind of
got excited about it.
Yeah, well, we thought it was kind of a joke. It's like
no,
like how it looks circusy. I know, but we were rookies.
Yeah, no
so
worries. The old Spanish wines all day long.
So we thought it kind of looked funny, but for $7.98, we might as well try it. And
right.
So we tried it. I think it retailed at like $24 or something.
Right.
But they were selling it for $8, and so we tried it.
And
super surprised.
You guys liked it a lot?
Blew our socks off. I mean, it was just kidding.
And so now are you drinking a ton of this?
Well, so that's the thing with those guys is they get it, and then once it's gone, it's gone. And so you can't really get back into it. Wine Searcher is kind of hard. I think you can still find the 99s, but the 97s are gone.
Right.
So I bought a few, a case of it, and just kind of...
And that's what you have.
Got it, yeah.
So, to me, the 97's on the left. To me, the 97 is slightly lighter than the 99. I don't know if you're getting that, Mod. It's so subtle, I'm not even quite sure you're going to definitely pick it up. But it's slight. So, let's give the 97 on the left a sniffy sniff. Earthy.
Mm-hmm.
You like that?
I do.
Yeah, I do as well.
I've really fallen for more
really
of the old worldy.
So this is super topsoil meets green peppers, meets jalapeno, kind of that whole thing going on.
Yeah.
And you like that. Dirty sock.
I like it.
Yeah, this is like you and your buddy were like wrestling in mud for 4 hours, and then, we smelled your clothes. That's, especially if you were like playing in sod.
Yeah.
Mott, smell this. I mean, it's super soddy and super green.
I think the green is what was always so...
You hate it, right, Mott? I mean, Mott doesn't like the stinkiness. I like it. I'm intrigued by that. All right, let's sniff the 99 now. Also earthy.
Mm-hmm.
This is where Rioja, I will say this. I think that Rioja in general, Spain needs to give a lot more thought to its old worldness. I think too many of the things are new world, and I feel like the old world is... I'm sorry, I'm saying Rioja, it's Util, Riquera. I'm sorry, I don't even know why I thought this was, I'm just noticing down here, this is from Util. I thought it was from Rioja for some reason, but it's not. Why did I even think it was from Rioja? Interesting. Did you notice that? Or you never even paid attention?
No, I didn't. I did never classify it as Rioja, but
Yeah, it is Tempranillo, and it's aged for 24 months in American oak. But what I was going to say about Rioja, but now in general, Utila and other places, I think Spain's got away from its core old worldness, and it's gotten very fruit driven. You know, Eric Solomon, Jorge Ordóñez, a lot of these guys have brought New World bombs to the U.S., which is fine, and I respect that, and you should have different styles. But there's a lot to be said about this charming old worldness. It's kind of like
I like it.
It's kind of like the difference between Zac Efron and Sean Connery. You know, you can appreciate the beauty in both, but you know they're different. One is new wave and one's old school, and there's distinction. You know, right?
What's Zac Efron?
What's Zac Efron, or who?
No, what has he been in?
High School Musical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Lots of Z's on that one. No, but he's a dreamy kind of up and coming. Oh, speaking of dreamy, I saw the guy who plays Nate Archibald in Gossip Girl at the deli the other day. Chase Cropper. You like that, Jess? He's a cute guy, and he had packs. He was looking good. So anyway, it's kind of like that. I think a lot of the Spanish wines have gone the Zac Efron, Twilight Boys, whatever you want to do, and then this style is very much that Sean Connery, and Clooney's probably just about slipping into that category now. So I think that's what's going on, and there's a lot to be said about this style. So the 99 they actually smell very similar. There's a consistent style here, which I like. Both vintages are really good in general in that part of Spain. So I'm excited about trying it.
The 99 seem like it is a little more maybe
vibrant,
or I mean that could be just from the age too, or no?
It could be. I definitely saw it. I can definitely see in the color. I don't see it as much on the smell for me, but they're both really green, very green. I mean, and I love that cucumber. Not even cucumber. It's more like, cabbage. Celery stick, green pepper. I mean, really, really bell pepper-esque thing going on. So, all right, let's try the 97. Let's give it a whirl. Now we're going to dinner after this.
I have to win them over.
I know you know that nobody, but don't forget, driving. You're fine. She's going to drive? Sure. Amazing. Okay.
Hormones.
Yeah, I'm going to put the 6-month pregnant wife on the road. 7, excuse me. So what do you think? How's this drinking compared to the way you've been tasting it? And anything,
No. I think the first thing that I was kind of thinking more about, I don't want them to
think you're a girl?
see me spit.
Oh.
So I kind of missed
so it's not more about being manly. It's more about visually you think it's scary? Manly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Okay.
It tastes green.
It does taste green. Let's you know what? Let's do this. Let's go right into the 99 while it's fresh. Sorry. Okay. What do you think of the 99?
It's hard for me to separate them.
No worries. So you find them extremely similar?
Yeah, I think. For me, the nose to me was just as similar. I felt like maybe this was a little more fresh, or something.
Correct. I agree with you 100%.
Okay, no, I stumbled into that.
Well, I don't think so. I think you were articulating what you were,
Right. I think what's interesting to me, it could just be the context of eating today, or what I've eaten, but they feel a little acidic, maybe?
They are acidic.
Okay.
They don't feel a little acidic. You're on a roll here. Keep going, because the last two things you've said are literally the first two things I would have said, which is that the 99 has more weight and is more vibrant and more youthful, and I'd like to think that the 99 will probably feel more like the 97 in 2 or 3 years. Right. I feel like they're very consistent. I'm shocked. You might have noticed I went 4 times. I mean, it was really the only distinct difference in these two wines is that there's a hair more fruit on 99. I think you can taste a little more of that black cherry. And it definitely has a freshness, which is the exact vocab word I would use. And I'm not talking Will Smith fresh. I'm talking like, vibrant. And it's got more weight on the palate. It's thicker. The viscosity is a little bit more there. It's also, both wines share I would say an extreme acidity, which is fine. It's tannic. It's good. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Which one do you like better?
Or
is it like children?
Yeah, it's a little bit hard. It's hard to choose for sure. I think just for the sake of like a little more youthfulness in this, it doesn't feel as lazy or something. You know, it's like, at least with the nose, I think it's like okay.
I really like what you're doing here. I mean, like, lazy is a pretty good term for this. Don't second guess yourself. You're like on ripping fire right now. Jimmy, get pumped because you're on fire.
Right,
Here's your big moment, and you're stepping up in a big way. So I'm impressed and excited.
Yeah, well,
you should be more excited about this.
Let's do
it. but I think that's an interesting. You used a very interesting adjective because it almost does feel like the 99 is working harder, to get you there. Right. The 97 is like chill. And it's kind of like, you know what it really reminds me of? You know what the analogy of these two wines would be? Two golden retrievers. One's a couple years older and is like laying on the, like chilling, while the other one's running around and bringing the ball and like trying to get the other one to like, do you guys know what I mean? I see Jess, absolutely. You perked up. Is this an analogy that sits with you? Yeah. Like, it makes sense, right? Makes sense. That's what's going on here. The 99 is just the younger golden retriever. You know what I mean, right? You see it. It's a classic scene in Americana. I feel like this is the younger dog that's kind of like bouncing around a little bit. There's charm to the older one, just likewise, like, oh, you silly. Like, we know what the ball does. Go chase it, bring it back. Like, I feel like that's what's going on here, but they're so similar. Literally to the point if both of those dogs that I just referred to look the same. Mm-hmm. So an interesting thing, I'll tell you this. Here's what's interesting. I think the wines are okay-ish. I don't think they're incredible. I think what probably attracted you and your buddy is this part, which I would agree with. It's very difficult to get old world wine flavors that are so traditional on this level for this price point. You can't find $8 wine that goes this old world in this good of a job. I do believe that this is $15 quality. I also believe the wines are okay in that style, meaning, there's a really, really solid $15 wines. Good, solid, okay, anywhere from okay, let me rephrase, really, really solid for $8. Okay to solid, nice wines in that $15 to $20 range. I think they're value. I do think the $7 and $8 price points are very, very good. I mean, no question about it for me. Is that what this is? This was 9 and this one's 8?
Yeah.
So they charge $1 more for the 97? Makes sense. No, it makes sense. I understand why. So yeah, I mean, to me, these are both really good. I like the 99 a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think so too. And I think possibly, I mean, because we've been, I think, drinking these for over a year, the first time I found it, and, seeing even a little bit of the progression, of the wine.
Have you seen it progress?
I mean, even today, being able to sit here and say, this is kind of getting lazy.
Yeah.
So it's...
And your palate's progressing.
Sure.
That's a whole other thing. I mean, your palate's progressing, so there's this, like, real, it's kind of like, maybe the wine's progressing, but your palate's progressing more, and so you have this interesting kind of scenario where you and the wine started off here, the wine's progressing, but then you're also progressing. Right, and so usually you progress as you get into wine dramatically quicker than the wines themselves. So I'm sure people are sitting here who've had wines that they've loved the first year or two they got into wine, and then the palate's changed, and it's like, oh man, why did I ever love Blackstone Merlot or Clos de Marlstone or Stag's Leap Petit Syrah? And you should have. Your palate was there, and that's fine. To me, I would score the 97 and 85. And I would score, Mott, very nice, good work. Right, and I would score the 99 87. And I would say they're really interesting values. And I think you and your buddy, what's your buddy's name?
Rick.
Rick what?
Rick Kingsley.
Rick Kingsley and you, I think, did a good job in discovering this little bad boy. And I definitely think it's intriguing for me to think about how this brought. How did you like the Parallel 45?
Which one was that?
That was the French
red
one, yeah.
I liked it. What I think I liked the most about it was just kind of the meaty
gaminess of it.
Yeah.
So you've really gone old world.
I like it.
I do too.
Yeah.
You're from Orlando.
I'm from North Carolina, but live down in Gainesville.
Gainesville. So in Gainesville, what teams? You're a Steelers fan. I know that.
I'm a huge Steelers fan.
Right. We play each other this year.
Good.
Did you know that?
Let's go.
Yeah. So that's a big bet brewing. Who else do you like? Are you a Magic fan?
No,
No.
I'm a huge anti-NBA fan. I think
You're a huge anti-NBA fan.
I
Has
like
this-
college.
has
Well,
this-
I grew up in North Carolina,
Right, so are you
so we're more like
are you a
we're
UNC
college
fan
basketball.
or UNC?
I'm a Tar Heel fan.
Okay,
Yeah.
right.
So
What's going on? They had a horrible year last year.
Yeah.
Were
It
you
would be
freaked
the
out by that?
rebuilding.
Yeah. How do
It's
you
always
don't-
that
you don't-
young team.
You don't
but that was
rebuild
real
in the
bad.
but you don't rebuild in the NCAA's anymore. You get really good freshmen at leave,
Yeah.
so
I
you
don't
should
know.
never rebuild.
I don't
Come
know.
on, Roy
They're
Williams.
Terrible.
Fine. So you're a UNC Tar Heel fan.
Mm-hmm.
You're a Steelers fan.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you?
32.
Makes no sense. Why are you a Steelers fan?
Oh, this is a great. Can I tell the story? I'll tell it quickly.
Mott,
I heard it's a good one.
fine. Oh, you told Mott while you were waiting?
This is awesome. This is one of my favorite stories.
You've got 2
And
minutes.
so, okay, 2 minutes. All right, story time. It's all about my dad. So after the '69 football season, my
The
dad,
Jets win the Super Bowl.
the Jets win the Super Bowl. So
Your
they're
dad becomes a Namath fan.
they're the best team,
Right.
right?
Your dad
Well, my
picks the
dad-
worst team.
Yeah, my
I'm sorry,
dad.
I'm telling the story.
No,
I
you're
apologize.
fine,
I'm
it's
sorry.
fine.
I know. You guys leave comments. I'm a jerk. I get it. Go ahead.
So my dad,
Terrible.
living in North Carolina,
Uh-huh.
in the late '60s, there's no NFL team
Correct.
to pull for. And so not loving the NFL but not wanting to be a bandwagon fan, he decided that at the end of the '69 season he would choose the worst team in the NFL to begin to be a fan of.
So
So that no
Taggart-
one would ever say
that he was
a
bandwagon.
bandwagon.
So if he was the other way, you'd be a Jets fan.
If he were
'Cause
a
the Jets won the
bandwagon
Super Bowl.
fan, he would have been.
Unbelievable. Okay, so
So at the
Steelers
end,
were the worst.
they weren't. They were tied for worst with the Dallas Cowboys. Both teams won one game in '69. And so on a coin toss, he chose the Steelers.
That
And
is
then I was
incredible.
born in '77 after.
So that means he coin tosses, and
That's also the year they drafted Bradshaw.
right. And not only that, I mean, what's more intriguing about that, I think, than that is the fact that only 8 or 9 years later they played each other in the Super Bowl, right?
Oh yeah.
In what year? 75, 76? I don't know what year it
I
is.
think they had two.
Well, they played
twice in the late '70s. So,
But the one where
is-
Jackie Smith right back and it drops the ball in the end. So your dad
Right.
went because of a coin toss.
Right.
Your dad was ecstatic instead
yeah.
of devastated.
Oh, absolutely.
He must love that coin. Did he save that
I
coin?
need to ask him. I don't know.
You need to ask him. What's your dad's name?
Wyatt.
Wyatt Trent?
That's right.
Wyatt Trent, please tell me that you have that coin. He probably doesn't. You know there's no way
Probably
he has
isn't.
that.
There's probably not.
That's a big underrated thing. Should we start that here now? Because I know millions and millions of people watch this show. When you flip a coin for a big moment, you need to save the coin. Mott, don't you agree? Nobody saves the coin. Nobody ever thinks about that. That's a good side question. Does anybody know of anybody who's ever saved a coin?
That's awesome.
That's a great story. So your
That's
dad was a
great.
Steelers fan, and then you became a
then
Steelers fan. That's it.
He grew us up Steelers
Yeah.
fans.
That's great.
And here we are.
Steelers, Tar Heels, and that's it.
Penguins.
Penguins.
So we at
Gators.
this point in the Gators, and a
Because
Gator
your
by
wife.
marriage.
Right. Gator by
So-
marriage.
Which is fine.
That's great.
And we work at the
That's
university
legit.
now, so
Right, so that's
all
legit.
the CKCs out there.
Yep, all the CKCs.
that you
And
have. And now I'm kind of, this is not good for fanship, I understand, but I'm kind of in transition away from the Yankees.
oh, that's all right. I mean, as you said,
I'm kind of,
I'm-
I'm kind of, I don't know, I'm just
why
kind
were
of
you a Yankees
tired.
fan? Dad?
Don Mattingly.
Well, Don Mattingly's my guy.
I mean, I love
I need
Mattingly.
to bring in my Mattingly jersey in here, as a matter of fact. I love Mattingly.
So I followed Mattingly in the '80s.
Yeah,
and,
he was the
and then
man.
I just kind of
Yeah,
followed the
yeah.
Yankees. So then, but then I
You're
kind of want to
go.
go
Who do you want to become a fan of?
the Pirates. I just want to go all.
You're really
Pittsburgh.
going all Pittsburgh, huh? You
I
should.
I just feel like I need to go
This is
all
a
the
good
way.
time to go Pirates. They've got Pedro
They're
Alvarez.
terrible. Well, I mean,
Do
they're
you know who
the
Pedro
worst.
Alvarez is?
Yes.
They just called him up. He's going to be nasty.
Okay.
Nasty. They've got Tabata. Tabata's going to be good.
You know way more.
I know a lot of.
You're a lot of sports.
I'm
you know
a
lot
very,
of sports.
very sneaky baseball nut. I know more about baseball than anybody in the world. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it. But I do know a lot about baseball because I play in a
Sure.
very competitive Wine Library Fantasy Baseball League, so I know all the youngsters. Pedro Alvarez is going to hit 40 homers next year. Or the year after that. He's legit. Get on now. I like their future. Jimmy, thank you so much. We got into sports a little bit, but as you know, because you watched a crap load of the show, I'm sure you probably thought about this more than once. So what's great about having somebody who actually watches the show on the show. What is your question of the day?
Yeah, I thought
Have you
about
changed?
this.
How many times have you changed it?
I haven't changed it. I was
You've stayed
saving.
firm.
I've stayed firm.
Okay.
I was saving the opportunity. They were asking earlier, "Hey, what's your question?" I'm like, "I'm not telling you, just in
Very
case I want
nice.
to change it."
Very nice.
here, this is a really intriguing question. I think you'll appreciate the answers, and so I wanted to get something that people would, I feel like, would respond to. The question is what do you get paid to do currently? So your job, what are you getting paid to do, and what do you love more than that?
I do like that question. Are you basically innuendoing what would you do?
What would you rather do?
Yeah.
What would you rather get paid to do?
Yeah.
Than what you do. But I'm curious of what people do too, because
I'm
it's
kind
not
of
really,
curious about myself. I'd like to know what Dominus does. Some of these characters, right? I'm curious. You like that? Mine got excited with Dominus the Bat. He's a huge Colts fan, right? So you don't like him. Remember they almost
immaculate tackle.
There's a lot of. I mean, that was incredible. That was incredible. How about the fact? Yeah, that was incredible. That was ridiculous. Jerome Bettis is the luckiest human being. He's gotten saved. You know when else he got saved? You know when else he got? He got saved twice. He fumbled in that game. That should have been his. But you know what's even funnier than that? The next year, that year or the next year, the year before. You won the Super Bowl that year, right? Mm-hmm. The year before that, in Roethlisberger's rookie year, he fumbled against the Jets in the game we should have beaten you in, that we lost because Doug Bryan missed 2 field goals inside a minute. We won't even go into that. I was there, 50-yard line, telling Steelers fans not to leave because they were all getting up and leaving. And I said to them, do you know who you're playing? We're not going to make this kick. So they all sat down and we missed the kick. And they were like, you were right. I'm like, high five. I'm like, I'm not going to high five you. I want to take a machete and cut your face off. Sorry. Bettis fumbled in that Jets game. You're a big Steelers fan. You might remember this. He fumbled when you guys were in field goal range in a big, big spot.
Sure.
So Bettis fumbled twice in iconic Keith Byers kind of, or Ernest Biner from, Biner from the, Browns. Like that level of fumbles, both were shoved under the rug by what ended up happening.
Yeah.
Jerome Bettis is one of the biggest chokers in sports history that nobody knows about. 2 huge fumbles.
That's huge.
They're huge. And the one against the Colts, the ball exploded.
Oh, yeah.
I still can't believe that happened. And then, the Colts should really, Dominus should be really mad at you because then there's the Harbaugh bomb that you guys won on. That almost happened. That was, anyway. Great question. Thanks for being on the show.
Yeah, thanks,
it's got way too sports at the end. Sorry. You, with a little bit of me and a little bit of our sports trivia, we're changing the wine world.